Hi folks, how are we all doing? Hope you're well. I've come out on this rather blustery day. I should have come out yesterday, it was so nice. But yeah, come out on this blustery day to do a quick vlog. Haven't done one for a while. So, come out to talk about a couple of things. Ride round in circles to keep out of the wind. So I thought I would catch up with you about a couple of things that I've been thinking about the last few days. All bike related, obviously. The first one being AI. Now I know Codger Biker covered it the other day. We'd been talking about it, and then he chucked his vlog up, and randomly after that another one popped up on my feed. A chap, I've never watched his videos before, but I've now subscribed. Does a bit of hitchhiking, hitching, walking, whatever you call it, and he did a really good breakdown about what's on its way and what we can expect to see and how it's going to affect him and his channel. And it kind of made me think about it as well. Like, I've got a tiny channel, I don't make any money out of this, I am well into negative equity on it, but there are guys and girls out there who do make a living out of it, and it's them who's going to affect the most. They have spent years building a reputation and a following, and there's a good chance that somebody sitting in an office or in a bedroom will replace them soon, because you and I ain't going to be able to tell whether that person is real or not. AI generation, video generation is now that good. It's amazing. So there's a new version which basically would allow you, like, well, I could for instance video myself out on the bike today, and then AI would superimpose a young hot male over me. He wouldn't even need to wear a helmet in the UK because he's not real. And he would get an amazing female following. And I could also create a female version and chuck that out. So I could do the same video twice, one catering to dirty old men and one catering to young women or younger women. It's basically what 44 Teeth Alan Chris go on about all the time with this, where they basically do the man reads PDF. It's that on steroids, isn't it? Somebody could be sitting at home talking through the latest bike release facts and figures, and then AI generating a test ride, and you'd never know. And I think that's where it's going to fall down. We're going to have folk out there getting massive followings, and nobody's going to be any the wiser. They're not going to know that this person's never actually swung a leg over the bike. You just waffle and bullshit their way through it. And that's just motorcycles. You can do it with anything. They could do it with car reviews, oh, you name it, pretty much anything. They're that realistic now, that's how good they are. So what are your thoughts on it? I mean, it's going to kill channels like mine, but I'll still churn it out anyway because it's my hobby. I just enjoy making the videos. But I can imagine people at lamb chops and 4014th. It's going to affect them to some degree. Some hotshot kid's going to come out there and TikTok the living bejesus out of it. Alright, the second subject of 3 today is MotoGP. Liberty Media have bought them out, it's all official. And yeah, they're introducing bagger racing. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's like Harley Davidson and Indian baggers mainly. So big cruiser motorcycles with suitcases on the sides racing each other. Now I've not got a problem with that, I've watched it quite a few times on YouTube, they put it up there. I've seen it, there's a lot of ex-racers, Jerry McWilliams, people like that. I think Roland Sands was doing it for a while as well, but some good ex-racers doing it. I don't have anything against it, it's racing. The only thing that I do have against it is that, well, MotoGP is supposed to be prototype racing. It's supposed to be the Formula 1 of motorcycling. And yet we're going back in time with these juggernauts. I just don't understand why. Yeah, they're on about pulling back Moto 2 and 3 a bit, and just having them a bit more in the background, which I again think is a daft move, because young kids, especially in Europe, who ride their scooters and mopeds and smaller CC bikes, relate to these young guys coming through and watch them work their way up through the ranks, through the different classes up to MotoGP. That's how you build a fan base. I just don't understand what they're thinking about putting that on the back burner and possibly even cutting out a few of the races. I said years ago, get rid of one of the 2 classes in Moto 2 or 3, either spec up the starting capacity and then they move from there to a super bike and then into MotoGP, and then it would mean you've got guys coming up through there that kind of used to a big bike and they can prove their worth, and vice versa. You can have guys that are on the decline that are still good enough and still have a big enough fan base to make it worth your while to keep them in the superbike class. I just think it would make more sense than bagger racing. I don't see what we're achieving with that. And thirdly, today, it's riveting stuff, I know. Maybe you would be better watching an AI video. Yeah, thirdly, it's about Moose. I am sifting through all of my old footage. Because this channel's supposed to be a diary of bike ownership. It's not about test rides or track days or world travel or anything like that. It's just about Joe Blogs, or what would the Scottish equivalent be? Jock Baxter. Yeah, Jock Baxter, telling you what it's like to own any of the bikes currently in his garage. And yeah, it's been a while since I've done a lot about Moose. You know, I've had him since 2018 when he first came out. There's a new bike on the market when I bought him, and I thought the other day, you know what, 7 years you've had that bike, Rob. You need to do a big update about ownership, because I am thinking about trading them in. So yeah, we need to thin out the garage a bit. I don't need 4 motorcycles, so I am seriously thinking about, well, I'll keep the desert sled, but the other 3 bikes I think are all going to go. And yeah, who knows what. Winter's coming, EICMA's coming, so we'll find out. through the winter where things go. Bit up in the air at the moment. But I thought, yeah, now's a good time to make a moose video. So I've kind of gone through 7 years of hard drives, sifting my way through some footage, and I've written a script. I think it's more or less there. So yeah, I've just got to spend a day or two putting it all together for you. So that'll release. I might just wait till the biking season's finished, so I've got something to put out. I'm gonna have to kind of spend a bit of time on it, and unfortunately one of my hard drives is kaput, so I'm missing footage from that. But I think I've got enough that I can make a half decent video about what it's like to own an original 790 Duke. What would I replace the Street Fighter with? And Moose, come to think of it. Controversially, I quite like the new 990. It's not as cheap as this was. This bike was, I think it was about between 10 and 11 somewhere with everything I put on it. It's much more expensive nowadays because you've got all this nonsense about unlocking your tech pack and quick shifter and that now. I think the only bit I had to pay for was my quick shifter back when I bought Moose. The tech pack was on them. I got that before it became a thing, you know. But yeah, I spec'd one up the other day, and wow, it wasn't as cheap as it looked like on paper. People going about the V2 being overpriced, but the 990 isn't far behind by the time you throw some bits at it. And I know what would happen if I bought a 990, about a week later the R would appear. I would like to do my bit to support KTM, help them out, you know, it's people's jobs we're talking about. Like I say, I love this bike. It was just more how I was treated. I don't mind things going wrong if as a customer I'm looked after, but I just felt like I was just totally dismissed. Really got my back up, as you well know. There's nothing out there apart from the 990, and I'm also holding out to have a look at the new Monster. There's been lots of spy shots and I thought it would just be a facelift, but this looks like it's going to be an all new bike, new frame, and then that new V2 engine in it. So I might just keep my powder dry until that comes out. Alright peeps, I've waffled on for long enough. Going for a coffee, a warm up, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all soon. Take care and I'll see you around.